Hey, how's it going? So there's been a Wigglytuff Pidgeot control deck that's been doing like really good in the online tournaments, so that made me think maybe just an attacking Wigglytuff deck would be really good. And it's fine. It's not really good, it's not terrible, it's decent. I started off with just a 3-3 Bibarel line for the engine, and I played a bunch of games tweaking the deck, and I think this is the list that feels the best. I have the Charizard engine with the Pidgeot and the Bibarel, because you really want to like at a certain point be able to like pull out specific cards out of your deck at certain times, like the Cheren's Care and the energies and stuff like that. But Wigglytuff is a 250 hit point stage 1 Pokemon with an ability that gives it 100 extra HP if it has a special energy attached to it, and an attack that does 90 plus 90 more if you played a supporter card from your hand that turn. So the most important part's the 350 HP. We can kinda keep healing it at the end to like win the 2-shot war, and some decks are gonna end up like 3-shotting us anyway because we have so much HP. That's why I got the 2 Cheren's Cares, the Cyllene, the Turo, and the Pal Pad, just to kinda like, I don't know, be able to loop it a little bit at the end. And the Cyllene is because you really want to like, you have to play a supporter every turn, and sometimes you don't want to research, and there's no point in Arvening, so you can Cyllene and try and put like a Pal Pad or the Hero's Cape back or an energy or anything like that. We also have the one prize Wigglytuff that lets us attach a therapeutic energy from our hand each turn to one of our Pokemon. That's why we have the 4 therapeutic energies. So we can set up a Wigglytuff that has no energy on it with that ability. And yeah, basically I was going first with this deck. I'm still unsure if first or second is better, but regardless, I was going first and just, you know, trying to get out a Pidgey and a couple Jigglypuffs and maybe a Rotom to draw some extra cards. Now let's get into the games. Alright, so this first game, like I said, I was choosing to go first. I'm still unsure about that because you do have Arven, and so you can Arven for like Poffins to get out your Pokemon. But going first, you can also start attacking right away. I don't know, I'm kind of torn between it. I played quite a few games with this deck, and going first didn't feel terrible. Going first with any deck doesn't feel great, not being able to play a supporter. But this is crazy. I mulliganed 6 times somehow. Yeah, I'm really not sure about that. Like 6, I don't know. This deck was drawing so weird because I had a 3-3 Bibarel line in it at one point, and Fire Energies and Radiant Charizard. And I would start Radiant Charizard almost every single game. I don't know. I played way more games than I normally do to figure out this list because I don't know. Normally I can like build a functional deck pretty easily, but this one for some reason it was just really weird and it wasn't working the way that I wanted it to. But the Pidgeot combined with the Bibarel was feeling really nice. But we chose the worst matchup to mulligan 6 times. Giving Lost Box 6 extra cards is insane. So we're almost definitely going to lose our Pidgeot here. But, you know, what can you do? So I got down like a pretty decent start. I was debating between getting the extra Pidgey down or not, because I'm assuming this one's going to get knocked out, but I figured I'd rather lose the Pidgeot than somehow have them like have Vacuum and Boss in hand so they can get to 4 and then cram my only Jigglypuff. But they somehow didn't get a Colress. Lost Box, I don't know, that definitely happens with Lost Box sometimes, especially online, where Colress will somehow like be in the bottom 10 cards of your deck will be all 4 of your Colresses. And they attach the Forest to Raikou and don't use it. That's kind of weird to me. I think they should have gotten a Colress or just something. I don't know. Surely they could have knocked me out that turn. Right, I'm debating if I should even Poffin or not, because I also prize 2 Jigglypuffs or grab anything off the Poffin. But I decided not to. I just want to keep my board kinda slim, and if I don't need to put an extra low HP Pokemon in play, I'm not gonna. So we research, and I end up with like a pretty good hand. I'm able to evolve up all my Pokemon, which is exactly what I want to do in this matchup. Ideally, I would evolve all my guys and get like Turo the Rotom off the board. But we had to get rid of the Turo, so gonna have to Pal Pad that back later. I'm actually debating just grabbing the Pal Pad now, but I'm like, oh, what if they knock out my Pidgeot? That would really suck. I should just get a supporter. Even though I do still have my V-Star ability, so I don't know, they could Lost Vacuum and knock out my Pidgeot, and then I'd just be stuck with a dead hand. So I just get Iono for next turn and attack, and I hit a research anyway. But I wouldn't mind disrupting their hand. I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on that because they hadn't Colressed yet, so surely they'll draw into Colresses. But they put down Hoopa. That's probably the worst part about this matchup is the Hoopa. Like, you almost like can't get ahead on energy attachments, which is what you want to do. And ideally, I'd have down another Jigglypuff to get the one prize Wigglypuff in play to be able to only keep 3 energy in play at any point in time. But they end up getting the Prime Catcher to knock out my Pidgeot. I mean, with the Force Seal Stone, they get whatever they want, so it makes sense that they would have a play like this. Kind of sucks. At least I have enough stuff in my hand to like keep it going. It's kind of unfortunate though that I don't have the Hero's Cape, because that's really what I need to make it so that this Hoopa doesn't knock me out with 4 energy in play. But I top deck Boss, I counter Catcher the Hoopa because I can't one-shot it, so I need to hit into it now or else it's just going to run through my board. And I'm like, here I'm having trouble debating whether or not I want to even put any energy in play or not. I'm still not sure what the best route would be. I think I go with what seems best to me is use my Forest to get the Hero's Cape. I'm reading the Rigid Band because if it was before weakness, I could put that on the Wigglytuff and not get knocked out, but it's after weakness, so it'd still get knocked out. And yeah, so now I have 450 HP. They can only do 400 damage. I have the Cheren's Care in hand, and yeah, looking pretty good, I guess. It sucks that they're down to 4 prizes, but as long as I make it so they can never one-shot me, we should be good here. Would have loved to be able to set up a barrel or keep Pidgeot in play. That would have been extremely helpful. But now I can... They got the Mirage Gate as I expected they would. I don't know, I don't think they'd use any yet. So it only makes sense. They're going to hit me for 400 here. I don't know if Dunsparce is still in format. I don't think it is, the colorless weakness one. But if it was, that would be really useful. It's going to be kind of embarrassing if it's not in format, because I didn't even check, but... So we're going to knock out their Hoopa. That's why I needed to hit it for damage that turn. I'm not really afraid of Raikou. That thing is never going to one-shot me, but the Hoopa can do some serious damage. And they bench Iron Hands attached to it. And Colress, their sequencing is atrocious. Sorry, I don't mean to like hate on the other player, but you definitely just want to, like, when you're not shuffling your hand into your deck, you want to do things like bench your Pokemon from hand into your energy attachment after your draw supporter and stuff. But they hit me with Cram. I don't know, I think they had to 120, 40, 60. Yeah, maybe hit me with Raikou wouldn't have made much of a difference. This is one of the matchups where like Wigglytuff seems good in theory, but this game gets really close and I can see how it could fly off the rails with the Hoopa. And if like they had the Roaring Moon and I didn't have a Mist Energy down. Debating benching the Jigglypuff, but I decided it's okay because if I Cheren's Care up this Wigglypuff, I don't have to bench down the next Jigglypuff. Then I just get to Iono and disrupt their hand again and take another knockout. And we only have 2 prizes left, but like it's gonna be kind of hard to take these 2 prizes unless I top deck a Boss. I really need to get Boss. This is why the Pidgeot is just so good in this deck. It seems like it's just one card that you want to like do whatever you want. You don't just want to like It's obviously always nice to draw more cards, but with this deck specifically, it really just feels like you're always in need of like one specific card every turn to make the turn as good as possible. But they get their Iron Hands all loaded up and then bench the Hoopa, which is a little, I don't know. They have most of their Dark Energy in play and in the discard pile. Like, it's all either in play or in the discard combined is all 4 of them. And I'm debating evolving my Wigglytuff. I would like to not just give them an easy amp knockout, but also if they just bring it up, I can't move it. I just use my last Cheren's Care and it has 3 retreat, so I'm not just going to be able to hard retreat it. And I just have to hit into the Raikou. And they get the switch card into the hand, so it looks like they probably have a boss, and they do. And now I really just need a boss to bring up that Raikou. Because even right now, the way that my hand is, even if I do 160 this turn, I can't knock it out because I'm only doing 70 next turn. And I top deck the Iono and I play it. It's really kind of debatable if this is correct or not, because I end up with this. I probably should have just played the Cyllene to try to put a boss back on top of my deck. But I didn't, because now, like, they can hit into me and I can't even knock them out because I'm only doing, or no, I would be perfectly knocking them out, wouldn't I? 70, 40. Oh yeah, that's really bad math on my part. I don't know why I thought I was 10 short before, but I am doing 70, so I don't know, I'm an idiot. But they hard retreat, which I guess they had to, right? Or else they just lose the game on the spot. That makes a lot more sense. Earlier I was thinking I couldn't knock them out without a supporter, but I don't know if you'd want to risk that anyway. And I debate Ultra Balling here just to get a card out of my deck to have better odds of drawing into boss, but I did Iono other cards to the bottom, and I want to keep that energy around specifically to avoid like boss Sableye shenanigans, or if they just get my Rotom into the active and hit into it and I can't retreat it, I lose. So they attach one to the Hoopa, and I'm really hoping they can't attack me with that this turn because they would be two-shotting me and I would need to top deck like the perfect card to do anything about it, which it's just boss is the only card that I could top deck. And they bench Sableye, and then I think they realize that they can't attack with that. And they must not be able to attack with their Hoopa either, because they attack with Raikou. That was kind of a mistake. I think they could have retreated to Hoopa and passed and seen what happened, but they didn't, so I'm able to knock out the Raikou and luckily win the game. Alright, this next game we have a fine starting hand if we're going second, but we're going first. So maybe that's a good argument to go second with this deck is this game alone. Because I would have got a pretty decent start with the Arven. I could Arven for Poffin or Nest Ball and Forest. And just got down, you know, all my guys and drawn 3 with Rotom. But now we just have to Pidgeot and pass, but I guess that's fine because we're not going to get knocked out. And one, like, the particularly hard thing about this matchup is that with the double turbo on the Wigglypuff, we can't knock out a Charizard. It looks like the game just froze. That's unfortunate. But now I can just Arven for, I can get Candy Forest, and then I can either get Rotom or Poffin, and then Forest for Rotom, which I decided to do because I'd really like to draw more cards, because I just need more stuff. And researching this hand would feel kind of bad, but if I have to do it, I have to do it. And I get 2 Jigglypuffs because I don't want to lose to them just like bossing up my guy. And pass, and accelerate hit with Rotom. Alright, hopefully that doesn't keep happening, but the game, or recording froze again. They just basically evolved into Charmander and passed, and attached to energy and passed, and I must have top decked a Poffin or drew into it, I can't remember, off the Rotom. But now I research away the energy so that I can get a double turbo to attack this turn. And now my board state's looking pretty good. And I Pidgeot before attaching. I don't know, just so they don't know what I got off of the Pidgeot. So they assume that I got the double turbo off of it and not that I got a card for next turn. Which I don't know if they'll really be able to disrupt my hand anyway. And they promote the Charmeleon, so I'm assuming they have a Charizard. And we're really hoping that they keep bricking because this is probably the only way that this deck is going to beat Charizard. I do have a TM Devo in it in hopes that you can hit a Charizard, boss, hit another Charizard, and hopefully like attach the rigid belt or band and have them vacuum that and then attach the hero's cape so that they're three-shotting you, and then you'll be able to like hit into all their guys because they're only doing 180 and then devolve them all without them even taking a prize. And at that point I think the board state should be pretty in your favor. Now how often will that actually go your way? And I don't know, because they can always like devolve your Pidgeot and that's a pain. But I grab boss because I'm thinking they're dead drawing. This is a bad matchup. I'm going to knock out their best out to draw because they have the Bibarel and all their Ultra Balls is outs. But they get the Iono, and we do pull the baby Wigglytuff off of the prizes. That's nice to have. I ended up going with one of those. I was thinking about doing two originally, but I think there's a lot of games, like as you saw in the last game, where you don't even really need it as long as you get down an attachment on the turn that you bench the Wigglypuff or Jigglypuff. Their names are so hard to get straight. But I just promote the guy, and now I'm gonna have to Ultra Ball, get another one out. And the question is, do I Pal Pad here? I'm definitely considering it because I do believe there is cards in there I want, but I just Iono because I really want to recover Cheren's care with it. Because that's like one of the, I don't know. I'm thinking that we're gonna have to like Cheren's care loop at some point to be able to win this game. That's what I'm thinking in my head, but I hit them for 160. That's the start of the devolve play. And yeah, I don't know. Definitely, if it just did even 10 more damage, this matchup wouldn't be bad. I think it would actually probably be kind of favored. Because they're never one-shotting you, ever, even at the end of the game. And you would be two-shotting them consistently, and you'd be able to make it so that they have to three-shot at least a couple of your guys. But they grab Vacuum and TM Devo, so that's like terrifying to see. But then they just vacuum away their Devo. I don't know, that's fine by me for sure, because I was worried about them getting rid of my Pidgeot, and I really wanted to get Arven next turn so that I could devolve this Charizard and just get that out of the way. But they evolve up into the ability Charmeleon, which is unfortunate because I can't devolve it. So now I'm kind of thinking if I even still want to do that. But I kind of have no choice. I can hope that their hand's not that good because, I don't know, they did play a supporter last turn. You figure that they'd get something better with it if they needed, like if their hand was dead, but I just grabbed the Arven for the stuff to get the Devo and get down another Jigglypuff. I decide to evolve up into the big one, or the baby one, and just draw. Luckily I get an energy attachment to throw down. I'm not going to throw it down apparently, but I think I was going to attach because that would just make sense. Or I could save it to try and get 3 single energy attachments down on it to complete the 2-shot. But they just concede. I think they conceded a little prematurely. Maybe they didn't know that the Charmeleon ability stopped TM Devo. That's like, I know a lot of people think that Charmeleon is just for mainly for Sableye. But at this point, Sableye is not the most popular, and that's like a very nice benefit. But it's for TM Devo because what you can do with Charizard is set up, you know, a play where you're immune to Devo by having that Charmeleon on your bench at the end of the game. You're always just the Charizard away from evolving, so it doesn't matter how many rare candies got Eri'd or how many used and the Pokemon got Devoed, it doesn't matter because you have the Charmeleon. But that's Wigglypuff. I wish it did a little more damage. Maybe you have to play a Vitality Band for the Charizard matchup. I went with the TM Devo Cyllene combo, just thinking like you can kind of hit into it and hopefully Devo like a couple times with the Cyllene. But anyways, have a good one.